Our cognitively declining president, who has no interest in doing the job, actually shut down a meeting today because he was so bored, so tired, and so out of it. If Donald Trump hates doing the job of being president so much, maybe he should just resign and save us all the time, because during a meeting about rural healthcare this morning, an issue Trump has been pretending to care about lately, Donald Trump abruptly stopped the conversation because he was just done, because he was bored, because he was tired, and because he doesn't care. Everyone was stunned, and we are going to get into that moment. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into the moment that Donald Trump, for some reason, just abruptly decided he was done with this meeting in front of the press, I want to start where Donald Trump began, of course, talking about healthcare. So he's lying about healthcare and making up stats in this clip right here.
It did. It went down either a quarter of a point or an eighth of a point, tiny. And now think of what we're doing. We're bringing medicine down by many times. Nobody's ever seen. And there are two ways of calculating. You could say 1,000%, 2,000, or you could say 90% or 80%. The Democrats want you to say 90 or 80, but there are two ways of calculating it.
Well, we brought the prices down by 2,000%, and the money that will be given out, it's going just to me. Just to me, I'm getting the money. You know that Donald Trump's advisors hate him because they continue to allow him to say this dumb shit. Like Howard Lutnick, at least when he's on TV, I'm sure y'all have seen this clip when he's on Fox, where he's saying, well, the president said it's a 400% decrease, but if it went from, 80 to this number, then to get back to that number, 20 to 80, then you have to increase it by 400%. I'm not doing math on camera. That might be wrong. I'm sorry about that. It's been a while since Jack took a math class, but like Howard Lutnick defends it, but they don't tell him to stop saying it, right? Like they just let him continue to be dumb and embarrass himself in public. But if this is the hard data that is going into the Trump healthcare plan, the great, biggest, best plan ever, some really genius marketing there, yeah, then I don't really have any expectation that it's going to be popping off in any meaningful way. But speaking of popping off, what Donald Trump did actually want to focus on instead of healthcare was Venezuela and the war he seems to be plotting in Minnesota.
But how cool is the White House, right? The coolest place on earth. And this is where it all begins. This is where we came up with a little concept about a place called Venezuela. How did that work out? And this is going to be the same thing in terms of its precision. Its importance is so big, it's going to work just like that. Venezuela was so amazing, but I equate that to other things because we can do other things like that. It doesn't always have to be a Minnesota where everything is corrupt.
So that was one of two things, or I guess it also could have been both. Donald Trump went from talking about Venezuela when discussing healthcare to pivoting to Minnesota, when also still supposed to be discussing healthcare, and he said, we can do the things in Venezuela, and it doesn't always have to be like Minnesota. He also just put out a Truth Social post saying that if and when he has to take swift action, he will. It kind of sounds like the threats he was making towards Maduro, that it'll be quick and easy. And sure, Donald Trump did kill 100 people, so I don't know how quick and easy and painless that was. But similar talking points are coming from Trump. Does he want to go in and scoop up Tim Walz and bring him to a prison in New York? Like, I shouldn't even say that because I don't want to give them ideas. Is that out of the realm of possibilities that Donald Trump wouldn't imprison one of his political opponents for nothing? But if that's not the case, Donald Trump really just has a completely broken brain, and he's just obsessed with attacking people, which is what he did to one of the senators there, Dan Sullivan of Alaska, asking him about Lisa Murkowski in this clip right here.
Actually, my state, this fund that I want to talk about, but what you've done on the drug pricing is even...
Ben, will you get Lisa Murkowski to vote for it?
She voted for it.
No, are you going to get her to vote for the great, big, beautiful health care bill that we're doing?
When we get that, I think MFN drug pricing, I bet every member of Congress votes on it.
Are you going to get her to vote for it?
We'll work on it, sir. We'll work on it. So let me actually talk a little bit about the context of what's going on in Alaska. And
so this kind of set up the upset Trump moment. Like, he's already angry. He's been stewing all day. He's thinking about how Lisa Murkowski has been, calling out Kristi Noem, attacking Donald Trump. He's probably thinking about how Don Bacon said that Republicans might impeach him if he wants to invade Greenland. His party's a disaster. He's thinking about all that. And so he asked Dan Sullivan, well, is Lisa Murkowski going to vote for this? And of course, Dan Sullivan's like, fucking no, of course not. Which actually, I wouldn't say of course not. Lisa Murkowski voted for the big, beautiful bill. And then she got ripped off on that one, which, what a shock. That was the point of the whole thing. But Donald Trump is clearly angry. He's clearly in his feelings. He's clearly upset. And it's why he decided that he had had enough. He doesn't want to be president. He doesn't want to do the job. And so he just started looking angry, falling asleep, and decided he was going to wrap up the meeting.
When you think about northeastern Pennsylvania, clinics and regional hospitals, rural hospitals are the backbones of our communities. So making a targeted investment that it's not just going to Band-Aid over poor operational procedures. It's going to actually transform rural health.
We're going to have to go very fast. we're going to have to go we are way behind schedule, and I have a couple of meetings that are very important. Nothing more important than this, but let's go. Come on, Bob. Rob?
Fire round.
Please.
Mr. President, thank you very much for having me here today, and I represent
Investment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. 1 minute.
If Donald Trump actually had something really important to get to, let's keep this in mind. Someone would come like Marco Rubio style and start handing out like a little note that was like, okay guys, time to wrap it up. There is no world in which it is the president of the United States' own responsibility to keep his schedule and to call it and to wrap things up. If Trump wanted to stay there all day, he could, right? Like Donald Trump has nothing important going on. This is not, Stephen Miller's making all the decisions. So he was just bored and sleepy and angry and he's pissed and he's tired. So Don, just quit. Maybe stop doing the job. You did ask us if you would be better off just hosting a television program. And I say yes. I think it's a great idea. Maybe you can just go back to TV and you can get a shot. You can get a show on Fox. I think that you could take over for maybe Jesse Waters. That would be nice. There's a lot of slots. There's a lot of slots at Fox that you could take over. I don't know. Gutfeld, you could take over that late night show. I know that'd make you really happy. And then we could all just be left alone. And I think that'd be fantastic. But the fact that Donald Trump, who has been talking about healthcare, we got a plan, we have concepts, and quite frankly, we love the concepts. And now he's in the moment in which he's supposed to be talking about those concepts. Rural healthcare, we care so deeply. We are shutting down the hospitals, but rural healthcare, we care a lot about it. And the fact that he's just like, someone wrap this shit up. I've had enough. What do I got to do? A job? I just can't eat McDonald's and have people, pat me on the head all day. He probably just wants to go back and like, well, I want to look at my Peace Prize. I got a Peace Prize. Did you hear about my Peace Prize? And we love a Peace Prize. So let me go play with that. That's honestly what he's going to do. And I shouldn't be laughing, but it's just so ridiculous for him to be like, we're done. Come on. I've had healthcare. We're talking about healthcare. Come on, people. Boring. Give me a show. It's insane. It's insane, especially because he doesn't actually have a plan. So it's not like Trump is crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's. He's like, guys, we've taken care of this. Let's move on to the next issue. Continue down the war path. No, not the actual war path, please. But he hasn't, there is no plan. He hasn't come up with anything. He just hasn't. And so he's just bored of having to think about getting work done. That is how lazy he is. I don't think we talk about how lazy Trump is enough. This is a lazy, lazy man. And the idea of thinking about the thought of work, he's like, oh my God, I can't do this. This is too difficult. Let Carolyn do it. And she tried. Oh, yesterday she tried. Tried to push her lies, tried to lie about healthcare. Didn't work because Jen Psaki, in a segment that I love, was calling it all out.
There have been multiple instances of American citizens being detained by ICE, and I'm wondering what the administration is asking the agency to do, or what steps is the administration asking the agency to take to ensure that Americans are not wrongly arrested.
Nandita, I hate to break it to you, but the truth is that the Trump administration is doing nothing to prevent U.S. citizens from being detained by ICE. In fact, today the ACLU filed a class action lawsuit against the Trump administration, alleging that ICE isn't just detaining U.S. citizens, they are racially profiling. The lawsuit points to specific cases of multiple U.S. citizens who say they were unlawfully detained by ICE, despite repeatedly stating that they were citizens. It's the same thing we've seen in city after city after city after ICE floods the streets. And the Trump administration seems completely fine with that. Now, today there were also a lot of questions about the supposed health care plan that Trump unveiled. I've already talked about that a little bit. So I'm just going to take a crack at one of those. Mary Bruce, ABC, go ahead.
20 million Americans in recent weeks have seen their health care costs soar. Can he assure them that if this plan is put in place, that they will be able to cover those costs?
No, of course he can't. Because, Mary, this is the plan, the whole thing. One page of it is just Trump saying the great healthcare plan. That's what they're calling it, as if that deems it true. I mean, that's it. This is the whole plan right here, the other page. Now, way back in Trump's 2016 campaign, he promised that he would repeal and replace Obamacare on day one in 2020. He said that he would unveil his healthcare plan in 2 weeks. In a presidential debate with Kamala Harris in 2024, Trump said he had concepts of a plan. Now, today, Trump is claiming he has a framework of a plan. And this is it. This thing I just showed you. And if he really, the thing is, this is the sad thing. A bunch of it is sad. But if he really wanted to do something that could have an impact, he could work to extend the Obamacare subsidy premiums. Because right now, 1.4 million Americans have already dropped their healthcare plans because they can't afford it anymore. And that number is going to grow. Okay, final question. The other big topic of interest today at the press briefing, of course, was Venezuela. Because today Trump met, as I talked about earlier, with Venezuelan opposition leader and Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria Machado. Many believed she was at the White House to push President Trump to support a democratic process in Venezuela, which Trump has not prioritized so far at all. So the press naturally had lots of questions. Weijia Zhang, CBS News.
Is it still the president's assessment that it would be very hard for Ms. Machado to leave Venezuela because he says she lacks the respect and support in that country? And will he raise that with her today?
No, well, I'm not sure what he raised or what his assessment is, but I mean, I think her chances of having Trump's support likely just got a heck of a lot better because, of course, today she gave Trump her Nobel Peace Prize. She gave him the literal medal. But a big question I have is whether Trump even has that power, given he's locked arms already with Delcy Rodriguez, one dictator for another, right there.
These people are such bad liars. They are so incompetent. And again, they are so lazy. They do not work. They do not try. And that is why we have to continue to call them out on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments.